Are you having a hard time identifying with the people in your Bible?
No.
Then stay tuned for the rest of this video.
What's going on, guys? So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the correct way, or at least a way that will help you to understand the Bible better and maybe to get a little bit more out of the Bible when you read it. Before we start the video, I just want to say that I am wearing a little bit of my kind of like prototype merch. I know that some of you guys in my little Instagram poll said that you actually prefer the way that this shirt looks. So I will be giving you guys a link. I'm not sure if I can do that like in a card or if I will have to do it in the description, but I'll leave something in the editing so that you guys can order a shirt, because any money that I receive from those sales is going to go directly back into the channel in doing some cool things, maybe getting some new equipment, you know, just towards supporting the mission. So if you guys want to represent the channel and, you know, have a pretty decent looking shirt, hopefully, just follow the link and I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyway, on to the video. So I think that a lot of us have a tendency when we read our Bible to think of the people in the Bible as like just almost like myths or legends, or, you know, like that happened, but it was kind of like a lifeless old like bearded dude that didn't have any emotions. He was just so disciplined, and I don't know, like we don't really put ourselves in a person's shoes, and we don't really see it for what it was. I mean, think about, for example, like the case of Gideon, when he just kept on losing soldiers, you know, one after the other. Like God kept on saying, hey, like you're gonna cut down your army, you're gonna keep on cutting down your army, and, you know, keep on having people desert you, or, you know, just tell people like, hey, if you want to leave, you can leave. In that situation, he ended up going into battle with 300 men, into battle against thousands and thousands of soldiers on the enemy's side, and ended up winning. We look at our situations a lot of the time and think, oh man, like, is God capable of doing this? And let me tell you that God is capable of so much. A lot of the time, I don't know if you guys ever watch like stuff in black and white from like, you know, World War I or World War II, but you kind of see that stuff and you kind of have a tendency to dissociate them from being like real life people. Like something about seeing stuff in black and white just kind of makes it seem like, oh, well, that almost like a sense of like that didn't really happen, or like those weren't people, like regular people like me. But if you can really put yourself in those people's shoes and really identify that they were no different from you, like they had all the same fears and emotions and love and all of those things that we have, it really helps us to get a lot more out of the Bible. I want you guys to go on this little journey with me. So let's think about the situation with Moses. Basically, if you look at the story throughout Exodus, he gets really upset with the way that things are, sees his people being mistreated. So he goes and kills a guy because he's just super impulsive and angry and upset. So already not exactly looking like, you know, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, like, you know, I just do whatever God tells me. Because I know that God didn't tell him, hey, you're going to get really angry and you're going to go kill that guy that's mistreating your people. So Moses kind of went and did his own thing, because he honestly is probably a hothead. Like, I don't think that I probably would have killed the guy, just saying. But he did, and God still chose him. So Moses ends up being chosen still. God is trying to tell him like, hey, like I've chosen you. You're going to lead my people out of Egypt. And Moses is like, I really am not good at public speaking. And God still ended up using him to do some of the most miraculous things in the Bible. Anytime we have a big problem or a big issue, and we kind of look back at Bible times as like, oh, well, that was different. Like God was doing way different things back then. God spoke to people audibly back then. God did all of these different things. I still believe that God does all of that stuff. If you look at the Bible and how many hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, it encapsulates. It's not like it was every single year or every month or every few days, like somebody was having like these miraculous miracles happen. There was lots of time in between it, and most times it wasn't really highly publicized either. There were definitely some cases, like with Moses, like it's pretty hard to keep, parting the sea, like, completely under wraps. Like a lot of people knew about that, and that's why like you had the Philistines when they stole the Ark of the Covenant. They were like, oh my gosh, like they brought the Ark of the Covenant out when Israel brought that out to help them in battle, because they thought that would give them favor with God. They saw that and they were like, dang, that's the God that led them out of Egypt. That's the God that did all of those things. So if you're ever like wondering, like, man, I wonder if like that stuff really did happen, like let this just kind of build up your faith a little bit, because that stuff really did happen, to the point where even all of Israel's surrounding enemies were like, dang, like we'd better like really watch out for Israel, the God of Israel, because that stuff like actually happened and they were deathly afraid of it. It spread all over the place. And that's the same sort of stuff with Jesus and with him dying and being raised from the dead. Like part of the reason, and I've made a whole video on this if you're curious, but part of the reason that I'm so confident in the resurrection and in Christianity is because any sort of thing like that was so highly publicized, Jesus was so widely known. So if over the course of thousands of years, if there were people that tried hard enough to disprove it, and trust me, there were, you would have found something definite, something that would have really disproven it, because you don't have 12 disciples that followed you around absolutely everywhere, did everything for you, believed in you so well, and then basically if nothing had happened, those 12 disciples would not have gone and died for their faith. And record has it, even sources that are not at all religiously affiliated were all saying that all those people ended up dying for their faith. Some people were stoned to death, some people were crucified upside down, some people, I've even read that it was rumored that, I believe James, Jesus' brother, was actually thrown off of a tower for his belief in his brother, who, by the way, if you are believing that your brother is the Son of God, you have to have seen something pretty spectacular in order to believe that. I would not be thrown off a tower because I wouldn't stop saying that my brother was the Messiah. We can look at the case of Jonah, where God told him that he needed to do something that Jonah really, really didn't want to do. So Jonah was like, I'm going to run away from God and I'm going to go and do my own thing. Jonah thought that those people did not deserve justice. So Jonah was like, okay, this is going to be my justice. I'm just going to let that people die. God ended up punishing him for that, and that actually happened, where he got swallowed by a whale, and like all of this stuff, like it actually happened. And if you put yourself in that person's shoes, it can really advance your Bible studies and really help you to actually grow in your faith. I don't know about you, but I've had lots of situations where God has told me to do things that I really did not feel like doing. And anytime you try to do the right thing by disobeying what God has obviously called you to do, it's not going to end very well for you. Anyway, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. If you got something out of this video, please leave a like and comment and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, support the mission, help me to upgrade equipment and get these videos out to more people, and you want a cool shirt, I will link down below in the description if you want to buy one. So anyway, guys, I will see you next weekend. Thanks, guys.